Oh, Dr. Karam is Council Rock. You can't talk about Council Rock. They're synonymous with each other.
Dr. Karam, who was the superintendent when I first started here, who hired me actually, was just an outstanding superintendent and very supportive of a swimming program and very supporting of the athletic program for that matter. And he's always a very fond memory.
Dr. Karam, I met Dr. Karam in the early 1950s. He's a friend of mine. He and his wife, God bless him, are friends of my family. And he was also a high school teacher of mine at Abington High School. So it was a natural friendship that developed. Our families were close. And when I came home from the West Coast after working at NBC, my wife and I were homesick. He sat down at our dining room table and said, Bob, are you interested in pursuing this job we have on paper? And again, it was rewarding, mutually rewarding, I think, for the school community, myself, and it certainly, I endeared the friendships I had with Dr. Karam, who was the superintendent that initiated the building program. The way you see it in Council Rock today, he was the one that started it.
I was at Abington for a year and met Dr. Karam, who then was the superintendent up here. And he asked me if I wanted to come up to Council Rock High School, and I said, sure. I remember the interview real well. I was working at Cinnamon at that time, and when I was coming up, I said, where am I going? I said, there's all farms up here. I said, there's no buildings, it's all farmland. And I had my interview in Newtown at the, I think it was a savings and loan at one of the banks there in the corner. I was so excited about my interview, I left my car running the whole time that I was in the interview and came up totally empty with gas, so I had to get some gas to get out of here.
To be honest with you, Council Rock is my career.
Council Rock is my career. I spent all 35 years here.
Council Rock is my career.
Council Rock is my career and was my career, and it's so it's meant everything.
I mean, Council Rock made my career. It's my life. It's something I'll always cherish.
I came out of college to Council Rock, and I started here. I was trained by all the older teachers, many of them who have been in here to speak already, and it helped me through with my football career, and I'm continuing that now, but it is my career.
It's the only job I've ever had. I started here in September of 1972, and I'm still here. People look at me and say, this is the only job you've ever had. I've had other jobs. I work at a day camp during the summer, but this is my career. It's not a job, it's a career. I'm not here to make the money. I'm here to be with the kids and to educate them. And it's a wonderful career.
You know, I taught in other districts and so forth, and it was just it was just a great experience. I mean, I feel myself very, very, very fortunate, very lucky, and very privileged. Every day I got up and I couldn't wait to get to work, which is unusual.
I was here, I guess, 30-some years, and most of the years it didn't feel like work. Like, you know, you enjoyed coming in each day. The colleagues that you worked with were fantastic. The kids were like, you know, made it special to come to work each day. And I think that was a key word. Like, lots of times you didn't associate the word work with what you were doing here at Council Rock.
Well, Council Rock has meant almost everything to me because I've been born and raised in the community and still live in the community and hope to be here many years later. So it's taught me a lot about the value of community. It's taught me a lot about the value that a school could have on an individual.
Well, it was like coming home. I came back here in 1968. I had graduated in 1958 from this school, and I can recall that many of the teachers that I had were still here, and I always appreciated those that I had and those that I knew. So I just felt like it was coming home again. That was very special.
So this is home, and this is a big part of my life and a big part of my family's life, and it's been a great experience for me.
It's been a place where I was able to take an interest that I've had since really I was a sophomore in high school, which was history and social studies, and pursue that interest to the point where the longer I found myself teaching here, the more that interest became a passion, and found out what I really wanted to do with my life and enjoyed every minute of it. Particularly in the classroom with young people, working with students, and so it's what it's meant is the place where you find the thing you love to do, and I guess that says a lot.
Back when we were young coaches, we decided we wanted to have a weight room here at Council Rock so our athletes could work year-round. And of course, like in a lot of things, it wasn't in the budget. So it was up to the coaches to come up with the funds for the weight room. And we started out, we had donkey basketball games. I think back about riding a donkey, playing basketball against the junior high teachers. We chaperoned roller derby games here in the gym. And just so many little funny stories that go along with that, just like young teachers working together for simple little things. And I think that was kind of like the spirit that I think that most of us had here at Council Rock. If it had to be done, we found a way to make it happen.
When we were in Newtown Junior High School, which was at that time the high school, and this place was built, and they wanted to move the library over. Here, the way we moved the library over was every class went down to the library, and each kid was given a stack of books, and they carried them along the road all the way over up into the library. And so that's the way that the library was moved. I don't know if you could do that today.
Back in the day, we had a softball league that was run basically by Mike Ortman, who was just retired as football coach. Mike, by the way, was a student of mine at Abingdon High School in 1966. Mike and his brother Bud, who just passed away, ran the softball league. And we fielded a team here at the high school, basically of losers. We didn't win a single game. The name of the team was the Lepers. And at the end of the season, at the banquet, the winner for the season was declared by a vote, not by win-or-loss record. And of course, the Lepers were declared the winner of the league that year with their 0-whatever record. But I think those kind of fun times really helped us do our jobs better, and that may be missing from what goes on now.
One of the girls, Linda Finney and Sue Finney, they had a dog named Charlie. It was a standard white poodle, and their mother brought Charlie to the hockey games. Well, after a while, the girls decided that Charlie should be our mascot. So he went on the bus to the games, and he came to every game. And at the end of the year, when they gave out the awards, Charlie came into the gym and got his varsity letter. That was, I think that was really special. He walked in, and they put the letter on him, they put it on a little strap like so it could be on his back. So I thought that was a little unique.
Well, I do remember the day that the Goodyear blimp almost hit the building. That was kind of memorable. It was after school, and of course there were people all over the place doing band and dramatics and outside on the sports fields, and suddenly we were asked to evacuate the building. And obviously it didn't hit the building, but it came awfully close, I think, and it was kind of a scary time, but looking back on it, it was a little bit funny too, I guess. That's something that happens every day.
Well, I came here in '58, and we graduated 125 students. And the year I retired, we graduated, it was over 800, hitting up towards 900. And I guess it was about 7 years later, I think they split the two high schools.
There's lots of memories of Council Rock as a student. One in particular, I remember our principal when I graduated was Dr. Yates, who has since retired, but was pretty intense having a principal that was like 6'3", bald, you know, a big bald head with a goatee, riding a Harley Davidson to school. I think that's pretty unique, and I don't know if we'll ever have a principal like that again. But that was pretty memorable, having a principal that was, you know, put the fear of God in you, but also seemed to be pretty cool driving a hog to school every day.
But like I say, the vast majority of my memories here are of good times, pranks that have been played on me. You know, it's just, you know, as I said, you know, earlier, it's a great place to have spent your career. So, you know, the things that stand out for me, while there are a couple sad ones, are certainly the good times.
Oh, fondest, most special memory. My whole senior year of high school was really special. There were just so many events that were enjoyable to me. And what I liked the most about the senior year is because the school provided so many different activities and opportunities your senior year, that you got to meet people that you didn't necessarily get to meet and know going through the high school because it was so large. And you know, like the senior trip to Florida and the dinner dances and things like that, where you got to meet and hang out with different people, will always be special to me.
I think the most special memory I have of my tenure in Council Rock was as the principal of the high school. At that time, we were a very large high school. I think at our height of population, we were probably 3,300 students, and still we maintained a close relationship with the staff and students, and we were very much like a family.
The thing I remember most is having computers come into the building. When I first started in 1986, we had one Apple IIe in the library, and we thought we were really hot stuff with that computer.
The biggest memory I have was our involvement with the Special Olympics, and we started a program with athletes helping athletes, and how involved the school became in it.
After my first year here, I resigned, and to become a head basketball coach upstate Pennsylvania. I went back upstate and started to look around and realized I had made a terrible mistake. And came back, and they hired me again, which to me I'll never forget, because they didn't have to do that. So I stayed for another 30 years, and very happy I did.
I always used to volunteer or sign up to work the graduation ceremony, and my job was to stand under the goalpost where the kids march in, sort of the last stop before they go up to get their diplomas, and it was always great to say goodbye to the students that I had seen for the previous 3 or 4 years.
I will always bleed blue and white because I'm a Council Rock guy. I mean, I just owe my entire career, all the great memories. I mean, obviously, when I talked about players becoming good citizens in the community, I mean, I've had so many letters written to me from players and students that I've had in the past because of, most recently with John Donahoe and Bobby Smith, who were 2 of my players in the 70s, 2 of my great football players, purchased the rights to name the stadium after me. I mean, that's an honor that I'm so humbled about. I mean, it's just so wonderful to have someone do something like that when you're still alive. And it was probably one of the most humble, enthusiastic, and memorable evenings of my life. And I really thank God for all the blessings that He's given to me. And my wife and I, we have 3 children, 8 grandkids. We've been so blessed, and I attribute a lot of that to my career here at Council Rock High School.
I think what made it special was the people that were here. The camaraderie between the administration and the teachers. It made a working environment that was conducive to positive experiences with the kids, and how the teachers shared and worked together. There was no, you didn't have problems amongst your your peers. And that expanded into the classroom.
Council Rock and Council Rock North is a very, very special family. We spend 9 months out of the year together. We live together. We share our most intimate secrets with each other. We cry together. We laugh together. We love what we do. We're here for everybody, and I can't leave yet. I just can't walk out of this building because this is my life. This is my home away from home, and it's just a wonderful place to be. And as I said, we are a family. We were Council Rock, and now we're Council Rock North, and we're one hell of a family.
Well, I think what made Council Rock special for me was the family atmosphere, the pride that we felt in our school, in our accomplishments, and in our day-to-day experiences. That was ever so special to all of us that had a hand and a part in providing the educational program.
I miss the students. I don't miss all the paperwork and things involved, but I do miss the students, and I miss the faculty members that I became very friendly with.
Again, the faculty and the student body makes things very special. Everyone had a tendency to support one another, whether it be athletics or academics or performing arts or whatever. The school district, or the student body was always very, very supportive. Fundraisers and so on, very, very supportive. You'll see the fall festival that they have every year. Very well supported by the community and by the student body. It's just a fun time, and these are the kind of things that tend to bring the student body and the faculty together, and just makes for a good, enjoyable situation all the way around.
I've never seen a staff that spent anywhere near the number of hours, extra hours with their students as I have here. You go around the halls, I'm sure it's still true. You can come around the halls here at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and there's room after room of kids getting extra help. And nobody thinks twice. They're there for the kids.
But most of it is a function of the people that you're around. I still have friends who I graduated with, and I still keep in touch with guys I've run with and that I've coached and taught. And it always comes down to people. The people that you meet are the greatest memories.
You know, it's funny, actually, my senior year in high school, Mr. Cullen said, when all of you go off to college, people are going to know if you came from Council Rock, if you came from Chamonix, if you came from Pennsbury, just because of the type of aptitude and the type of skills that we're learning here. And I've traveled overseas, and I've worn a Council Rock t-shirt in graduate school, and people can actually recognize the school. I've had professors overseas who have actually lived in the Pennsylvania area, and they all recognize Council Rock, and they always have a great thing to say about it, whether the last time they were here were 40 years ago, or if it's that they visited their family 2 weeks ago in Pennsylvania. They recognize Council Rock, and it comes with a certain esteem, and I think that's a really powerful thing.
I used to reflect on, why was this such a good educational system? Why did our students do so well? And what I would see is a level of dedication, but also a level of expertise on the part of the teaching staff that was very strong. Our coaching staff, our theater, the music department. I look at the level of expertise coupled with the dedication to student achievement, and it's not by chance or by accident that good things happen here. It's by design, and it's on the part of a lot of people who work very hard to make student achievement their priority.
Well, in 1969, there were some comments by the community about this was the Taj Mahal. This was a brand new building. What this school costs is less than what they pay some of the starters for the Philadelphia Phillies today. It has grown into quite a school community. I'm very pleased, although I do not live in the immediate area, to see the growth, the socioeconomics, and the school's been a big part of that growth. In 40 years, it's gone from a castle to a very viable and usable educational space. It's really grown.
The football games haven't changed. I loved going to them as a student. I love coming to them as an adult. I bring my kids. There's great support of the sports and the music. That's the same.
Just think the traditions and the fact that we kept the honeycomb windows. Maybe to some it might look, oh, that's a strange thing, but to us, that's part of what Council Rock High School and Council Rock North has always been about.
My advice to students is to say, you know what, Council Rock's not perfect. It's not a perfect world. So if you're looking for perfection, I don't know where you'd find it. But this is a good school. This is a good staff. And what I would ask students to do is, and I used to say this when I was principal, challenge us. Challenge the people here to give you the best education you can receive. But that means you have to work at it also. But I would love to see every student come in here hungry, with a tremendous desire to learn and to achieve, work to their full potential, because I know if students, with the support of their parents, do that, this staff will meet that challenge and take you to an even higher level.
I would just say, realize what a wonderful opportunity you have here. Sometimes it seems kind of like a burden to have to come to school every day and do all that work and study and so forth, but there's so many things to do here, and I think everybody can find a niche if you really try. If you can just think about what interests you most, there's probably something here for you to do within that interest. There's probably a teacher you can kind of become a friend with. So even in a very large school, I would say there's a place for you. There's a place for you to do your thing if you just really look for it.
The world's a very different place than when I first started here back in the 70s, and it's more competitive, and it's going to be very difficult. But if you have the skills to make it in this global world, so to speak, you're going to do all right. And the place that you're going to get the skills is right here, Council Rock North. And I always used to tell my students, the skills are what's going to make you, a valuable commodity, and what's going to, make it possible for you to have opportunities. And so I tell them, take advantage of, the time you're here. I know it sounds corny because I'm a teacher and I'm supposed to say that, but I think more now than ever that students have to really take advantage of what's offered here. Not only the education, but there's so many activities. And I used to tell my own students and my kids that school's not supposed to be like a place you come to work, but get involved in activities and enjoy, whatever the school offers you in addition to the education.
Follow your passion, which is what I tell all my students, because if you're not passionate about what you're doing, you won't enjoy it. And to teachers, be passionate about your work, because if you're not passionate about what you're doing, you will not enjoy what you're doing. I always said, if you wake up every morning and love this job, you will come to work. But once you realize that you're not happy here, that's the time to leave and to find a new career.
Take the opportunity afforded you that Council Rock and your parents have allowed you to be here. Take advantage of it, be creative, and dust off your disciplined imagination. You're going to have a lot of fun.